So today we're doing another follow along recipe. I'm going to be making an Italian buttercream because I'm going to be making some cupcakes later, which is going to be in another video. But I'm going to be using the Preppy Kitchen's recipe. He has a bunch of baking recipes and just a lot of different sweets. He does savory recipes as well, but he seems like he knows what he's doing. I've never done a real buttercream before, so I've been excited to try it. So I've got all my ingredients pretty much ready, so I don't have to sit here and measure everything. But what I'm going to start with is cleaning my stand mixer bowl. He recommends using lemon or vinegar just to make sure there's no residual fat from the last time you used it, because that could interfere with the meringue that we're going to be making. So I'm just going to wipe a small film of vinegar around the edges. So we start this recipe by doing two things at once, and that is going to be heating up our simple syrup of sugar and water, as well as beating our egg whites until they have soft peaks. So I'm going to get my sugar into the water that I already measured. I also have a bunch of egg whites because I cured some egg yolks the other day, so I'm going to measure out about 4 of those, which to me is like 120 grams. That should be good. Also, I'm sorry I don't have the clear glass stand mixer bowl, but if you help me get to 4,000 watch hours on this channel, I might be able to start funding some things like that. Just an FYI. So this is where he also adds a 1/4 teaspoon of salt for flavor, as well as a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. It's going to help stabilize our egg whites. I apologize if you can hear some commotion going on through the mic. Somebody outside is like tearing down a tree or something, so it's quite loud. But what I'm going to do is start my induction burner on a medium-low heat just to get this sugar dissolved into the water before I increase it to medium-high and bring it up to temperature. And at the same time, I'm going to flip on my stand mixer to a high speed and start to whip these egg whites. At the same time, we're going to add in our 1/3 cup of sugar, nice and slow, to get it evenly incorporated and dissolved. Well, I would call that about a soft peak. I might mix it just for a hair longer. My sugar just has a little bit longer to go, so I'll just wait for that. Okay, I'm just under 240 F on my syrup, so I'm going to start to drizzle that into my mixer, running it on a lowish speed. Be careful with syrup, as you can get burned by this very easily. I'm just running this on high until it gets cooled down enough. I'm going to give it a little bit of help here. Alright, so it's been going for like over 10 minutes, so let's see what the temp is. It says 86. It's a little warmer than John's was in his video, but it's probably going to be fine. Probably. So let's clear off the whisk. Didn't work exactly like I planned, but oh well. Stuff is really silky smooth already. Imagine when we add butter to it. This definitely is not going to go to waste. Speaking of butter, I am using the good stuff here, the Kerrygold. Because this is such a butter heavy recipe, I think having a higher quality butter is going to make all the difference, if you feel like spending the money on it. I've left this out for a couple of hours, but I think it could use just a little more heating up because it's not as pliable as I think it should be. So I'm going to pop it into the microwave for a few seconds just to make it all the way room temperature. Okay, I think we're in good shape. I'm going to put on this paddle attachment so that we can start adding in the butter. So we're going to start this at medium-low, and I'm just going to add this in 1 tablespoon at a time. Can't let any of this stuff go to waste. Okay, mine is looking quite soupy and liquidy right now, and what he said to do is just throw the whole thing in the fridge because it will help seize up the butter a little bit and make it more silky and smooth. So I'm going to do that and I'll come back. In the meantime, talking about flavoring, I want my buttercream to be vanilla flavored, and I did just buy these vanilla bean pods on Amazon, so I'm gonna try to put some beans in there, and if it's not enough flavoring, I'm just gonna add a little vanilla extract. I've never made food with actual vanilla beans, so I'm excited to put these to use. I think this is so cool. I'll put a link below to where I got these. They weren't too expensive, and I think they have a lot of uses. If you have any suggestions of how I can use these, let me know in the comments. So you're supposed to split it down the middle, and then using the back of the knife, I scrape off the beans from inside the pod. And I'm still gonna save these pods because there's a ton of flavor left in these that I can use. All right, so I've chilled my buttercream a bit, so I'm gonna start whipping it back up. It's already starting to look better. Okay, so I think we've achieved that nice and smooth and structural texture that we were looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in my vanilla beans. I hope it's not too much, at least, because I can always add more. And we're gonna mix to taste. I'm gonna go ahead and scrape around the sides and the bottom because I know sometimes some of the meringue can stick down there and not get incorporated. And just in case there's any vanilla, I'm gonna do the same with that. All right, let's taste what we're working with here. Wow, that is incredible. Definitely use a good butter because it stands out in this recipe. But I think it could use just a little bit more vanilla flavor, and I'm not gonna open another pod right now. So I'm just gonna squirt in just a tiny bit and try it with that. Now with the back of the same spoon. Yep, that is exactly what I want right there. Not too much vanilla flavor, but it does stand out in just the butter and the sugar, and everything mixes together perfectly. This is divine. And like you said, it's not as sweet as American buttercream, but I think that actually works better with the methods used in this recipe. I think everything is perfect, and this is super dangerous because having this around in my house is not good for me living alone. I'm gonna store this in an airtight container because in a couple days I'm gonna use it to make some vanilla cupcakes. So stay tuned for that video. And thank you, John, for this beautiful recipe. I hope someone else can try it because they've seen me try it and say that it's definitely legit. But as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you next time.